Okay, so it seems that there's been an update to the whole Offkai Expo situation, and a lot of people aren't happy as more VTubers have been coming in and giving their own opinions about some of the kind of, I guess, partnerships that they're doing. Obviously, the last video, we covered the fact that they would be doing a whole thing with Fansly, which a lot of people were very concerned about, as it says you can come and find them in the Exhibitor Hall, which obviously seems like to be one of the main halls at Offkai, and, you know, people under the age of 18 can attend this event. So many people worried that, you know, essentially this will expose a lot of children to, you know, stuff that goes on Fansly, right? Yeah, you guys know what goes on Fansly. I don't really need to tell you, but you know, people are very concerned about that, and I think that's a valid concern. Now, of course, we can go into in a minute about, you know, whether there's going to be any kind of you know, like curtain or anything like that, maybe to stop this from happening. But again, we'll go into that in a second. But essentially, it seems that more VTubers and stuff have been kind of commenting on this, including people like Powder, saying incredible talent, huh? And obviously, yeah, I mean, that is, you know, one of the takes that she puts here. Obviously, they put incredible talent from Fansly. People say it takes great talent to spread your blank in front of camera, apparently. They've got incredible talent with highly valuable assets. That makes them irresistible to fans. I didn't know being a blank was a talent. Looking for Dan Clancy level of incredible. And I mean, yeah, they're kind of right there. I mean, obviously, Dan Clancy, very, very well known for enjoying a little bit of the Fansly streamers, right, that go live on Twitch. Obviously, this isn't TwitchCon, so he's not even a part of this, but you know, it is quite funny. But yeah, Offkai has been very, very well known. Obviously, if you don't know, is one of the biggest kind of VTuber conventions, at least over in the US, right? And yeah, so many people very concerned about you know, what is going on with this. Now, they actually recently announced another thing as well at the same time, with another VTubing agency or group, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a group actually. It's called VBimbo. Now obviously you can kind of tell what that means. Obviously they are very sexualized and all this kind of stuff, which obviously I think is okay, right? And I don't think, you know, there's been a big debate that has come from this, essentially talking about, you know, what has happened to the state of VTubing and things like that. Now, I don't mind like LewdTubers and things like that. Obviously, if anything, they're great, right? But I think it's, you know, more so the kind of issue of them attending an event like this. And, you know, it depends really on what they're going to kind of be marketing at this event, and whether it's going to be safe, you know, for everybody there that will be attending, or if there's going to be some kind of privacy for this, you know, sponsor or whatever, and also for the booth for Fansly, right? Because it seems like they're going to be, yeah, it seems like they're going to have a booth. I don't know about VBimbo. I think they're just going. But again, it is one of those things like, is this going to all be enclosed into one big like 18+ area where, you know, we've heard that a lot of other conventions and you know, previous places and stuff like that have made these kind of like special curtain down places, right? So they're like especially for people to go in there, have their ID checked, and then they can go in and do whatever, right? Which I think is fine. I think that if that is the case, that is 100% fine. But I think the issue that people were having with this as well is the fact that Offkai doesn't make it clear, right? You go to the information on the website, it says the Exhibitor Hall. If you take a look at, like, you know, what's going to be going on there, it says check back for more information soon. So there's no kind of like, you know, map or anything of the place. I'm trying to find like any info I can. I mean, you know, they've got info about us, accessibility information, hotel, transport, FAQ. You got venue, I guess this is the venue. Maybe this will give us, no, it just tells you where it is in America, right? But again, I'm not seeing any kind of you know, link to maybe like a kind of, what do you call it, a layout, right? A layout of what this is going to look like. Maybe there is one somewhere that maybe I just can't find and I'm being stupid. But you know, from what I've seen, it seems like a lot of the website isn't finished yet. So again, it's kind of concerning to a lot of people, right? Because nobody knows whether they are going to be split off from the rest of people, because from what it says on this one, it's going to be in the Exhibitor Hall, right? And if you take a look at this, you got the Artist Alley, the Exhibitor Hall, and the Abai Market, which I think, yeah, the Exhibitor Hall is going to be one of the main halls that people are going to be going into, including a lot of those kids, right? And some people did bring up the argument of like, you know, oh, there's only going to be like 10 kids there or something like that, but I just don't think that's really an argument, right? The fact is there is still going to be kids there, right? And that there's still going to be you know, even if it is a smaller number than some other kind of conventions and things like that, there are still going to be people there. Just because there's only 10 of them doesn't mean they don't matter and that they should be exposed to all of this stuff. They should 100% be protected as much as, you know, if there was like 1,000 kids going to this event, right? I think it is exactly the same. So I don't get that argument whatsoever. And as I said, I don't mind any of this content. You know, I'm not like a big person that is going to be like, oh, I hate these online, you know, whatever's, you know, whatever people say. I don't care, right? It's not one of the things that I'm very big against, right? And I know a lot of people are very big against it, and that's fine if you're big against it too. I can understand. But me personally, you know, I don't mind it, right? It's, if anything, it's good. But again, you know, of course, you know, groups like this as well, people, you know, don't like being there as well due to the fact of they got a very 18 plus kind of nature to a lot of their content and stuff like that, which, you know, obviously there's going to be kids attending the event. So that is something that more people have issues with. Now, obviously, yeah, this is a surprise. Some people saying, I love VTubers, generally the sweetest, and y'all ain't ready for us. And some people saying, yes, absolutely, something minors ought to be exposed to. Foul. They say, yeah, I'm between 13 to 17 years old. My parents have to accompany me to a convention. Obviously, yeah, they're saying, like, you know, this convention is expecting 13 to 17-year-olds. And possibly younger as well if they're accompanied by a parent, right? Which obviously isn't great. And obviously, yeah, and also the same thing is, right, not only can they not be, you know, because, you know, sometimes you can kind of understand it if they're like young and they're being like kind of accompanied by a parent can maybe like you know, spot something from like a mile away and be like, okay, let's avoid that booth, we're not going near that one, right? But the fact is, they say here within their website that 13 to 17-year-olds are allowed to just run around the convention on their own without anybody, as long as they have written permission. So of course, that's not going to stop them from going into all of these places, right? That maybe, you know, a parent would have the responsibility of doing if they were around, right? And I think it is just a bad idea to have this there in the first place, right? As a woman once again ruining something by making it a gooning contest, saying, aren't children allowed to roam on this event? What the hell? An event where kids can go without their parents is wild to me. Saying, what the actual F is wrong with you? This event just combines the terrible aspects of VTubing in the West, right? And obviously there is like a real mixed thing. Some people more concerned about the event itself and the kids that will be attending the event. Some people more concerned about like the content that they do. As I said, I don't care about the content that they do. And as I said, like if this was an event that was like, what do you call it? Like, they had an 18 plus event, and this, you know, kids weren't allowed at this event whatsoever, not even through the door, then that's understandable, right? I think, you know, that's 100% fair, that they can have these booths and do this kind of stuff. But I think, you know, it's the kind of mixing where you're allowing kids to attend this event, but, you know, it's just like, why would he have these booths if that was the case, right? But if it was an 18 plus event, understandable. Right? Because again, everybody's 18 plus there. It's fine. It's all been checked. They probably check them at the door, probably check them when they're doing their tickets as well, right? I think that is, you know, fair enough. But that isn't the case with Offkai. They do allow people under the age of 18 to attend it, right? And obviously, yeah, people saying, what the hell has happened to VTubing? This is just so sad. Some people saying, I will never understand people who are hateful towards LootTubers. I understand not wanting to see NSFW and loot stuff on your timeline, but you know, you can just block and move on, right? And I do think that's fair enough, right? I do think that, you know, LootTubers in general, as I said, if you're against that, that's fair enough. You know, you don't have to interact with that content, and that's totally cool, right? And I think that, you know, of course, they do need their own section, so that if you don't want to go to that place, that's totally fine too, right? I think if they have their own section that is checked and privated or whatever like that, or if they attend a convention that is 18 plus, then I think that is fine. But I think it's the mixing that people have a problem with, right? And yeah, if you in your own personal time dislike LootTubers and things like that as well, it's like, yeah, that's fine, right? You don't have to interact with it. That's fine. But again, obviously some people do like it, so they will, you know, interact with it on their own, right? Saying, without looking them up, already know they will stream on Twitch. Saying, the intense hate on me and my girls attending a convention, as is one of the members, has really shown me how misogynistic the internet truly is. Just because we do adult work does not mean that's all we do. We're multifaceted. Do better. So again, that was in response to obviously a lot of the comments about them, you know, being e-blanks, which of course I think is the, you know, that's some of the I guess, arguments people have been making. But again, they didn't really respond to any of this stuff about the concerns, you know, that people actually have of children attending the event, right? That's the main concern people have, right? Sure, it sucks that people are being, you know, misogynistic and whatever, as you say it, but, you know, what a lot of people really care about is, you know, is this going to be intertwined with a lot of the events that kids are going to be attending, or is this different, right? Which I think is the question people are having, right? Saying the people complaining that are complaining about this have never been to a con, and it shows. And, you know, it is just one of these things where, you know, I don't think you can kind of assume that every con is going to be the same, right? Cons are run by different people. Cons are run by different organizers, right? And of course, whenever you don't have stuff like a map or anything to kind of tell you that, hey, this is going to be separated away and people aren't going to be able to access this unless they show their ID or whatever like that, then, you know, of course, that would 100% kind of lower a lot of the heat that they've been getting. But I think Offkai have done a pretty bad job in terms of, you know, lowering this heat, because now, obviously, a lot of the talent that are going to be attending are getting a lot of hate, obviously, the people that they said there. And, you know, it's pretty much their fault, right? It's their fault for not including any information about, you know, where they're going to be and if they're going to be separated, because currently all we know is that they're going to be in the Exhibitor Hall, which is one of the main halls, right? So again, so from the information that we have that Offkai have given us, they're going to be out there in the public with, you know, all of the other kind of booths out there. But they didn't say they're going to be in a special section. They didn't say they're going to be in a special area or anything like that, which obviously would be okay. But they haven't told us, right? And you know, I think it's kind of, you know, a little bit stupid to assume that, oh, they're just going to do it, right? Because they might not, right? I think they might, you know, they haven't given us any information, so how are we supposed to know, right? But again, I do think it is pretty crazy. But at the end of the day, as I said, I don't care about, you know, them attending the event too much. I don't care about, you know, this group attending the event too much, right? They are obviously doing great on their own. But it is just more so making sure everything is kept up to standard and making sure things are split off, making sure, you know, the correct kind of content is being shared to the correct kind of people, right? Which obviously is the main issue that many people have, right? But yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.